What's up, man? It's Tony Rose from the Sam 100.7 Morning Show. Here's another edition of Sam on Demand. Here's our classic interview we did with Rupert. Of course, he's coming to the area soon. Relive it right now on Sam on Demand.
What do you think about this new season of Survivor?
You know, with them talking about 20 contestants and going to be put out there with no real direction and no real help, I mean, that's how we were. You're stuck out there now. I like the idea of throwing all 20 of them in there and not telling them if they're one tribe, two tribes, three tribes, not telling them anything, just making them kind of fend for themselves and seeing what a tribe of 20 people is going to do. Because I mean, it's really hard when we were in the merge. When you get into the tribe of 10, that's a lot of people to try and deal with all the dynamics and everybody wanting to be a leader and everybody wanting to, that's a tough one.
You were something special on this show. When did it dawn on you?
You know, I came home from Pearl Isles, and then it took about a month before you saw it on TV, and then we saw me stealing the shoes.
Right.
And oh my God, my phone's lit up, my everything, it just hit. But 3 weeks after the show started, I was out and on my way to do the next one.
Yeah.
So I never really got to see it, and you kind of forget when you're away from it, out on that island, going through All Stars. Yeah. I had forgotten really what was going on with Pearl Isles at home. I didn't realize the celebrityism that I had gained until I had gotten done with All Stars.
It had to be like the Beatles coming to America when you got back from All Stars, right?
It was crazy. I was because we were all leaving the All Stars. Had finished taping, and 2 days later we're on TV for the finale of Pearl Isles. So I'm leaving Panama with the film crew and all the workers and everything, going to L.A., where everybody else just kind of went back to their homes. I went straight to L.A. to do the finale of Pearl Isles.
Wow.
I was in shorts. I mean, I didn't think anything about it. I'm in shorts and a tie-dye tank top. The guy, one of the head producers, grabs me in the Panama airport, takes me into a fancy pants store, buys me a whole bunch of clothes, dresses me up so when I hit the airport in L.A., I won't be mobbed I won't be wearing the big neon sign saying it's me. It was, and I wondered what the heck is he doing until we got to L.A. and even, in the collared button-down shirt and long pants and all and trying to look not like me, people recognize. I mean, I got mobbed in the airport.
Hanging out with Rupert, the most popular person to ever play the game of Survivor on CBS. You did 2 Survivors pretty much back-to-back. How was that?
That was the worst for my wife when I came home from Pearl Isles, beat to heck. Yeah. Still my feet were swollen, my legs were swollen, I opened wounds and sores, gashes from the coral, the jellyfish and stingrays and all kinds of just stuff out there that gets you all the things. I was beat. And that week before I left into All Stars, my wife looks right at me and says, "Are you trying to kill yourself?" Oh. That was the most ultimate test on my body I have ever put it through. I mean, when I went into Pearl Isles, I was 265. When I came out of All Stars, I was 190 pounds.
Unbelievable.
It's a test.
What was the biggest difference between the 2 shows?
See, in Pearl Isles, going out there with 16 strangers, I really liked it. And they were not all, super egos and great game players and great athletes. So I kind of could dominate a little more in Pearl Isles. It was almost the Rupert show. I loved watching that.
It wasn't almost to it. It was the Rupert show.
It was great. But, that was not the way to win the game. Calling it my island, my spear, my adventure, mine, what are you doing messing up my, On All Stars, I went out there with super egos that all knew each other, and I was the new guy. So, I played it a little more laid back, calling it your adventure, your island, your sphere, your game. What can I do to help you? And I laid a little lower and stroked the egos instead of trying to be the dominant one.
What in the world made you even want to apply for Survivor?
Oh my gosh! When just like all of America, when we saw Richard Hatch out there, being that arrogant Richard that he is, playing the game and winning it. Throwing the spear at people, saying, "You catch the fish, you do this, you do that. But he dominated the game because he was such a good survivor.
Yeah.
I knew the game was made for me. I never really understood the conniver side of it.
Yeah.
And that showed in Pearl Isles. I went out there. It was good I had a second chance because I learned the strategy a little more and the conniver side of it a little more and the gamesmanship of it. But my family's got the old 8mm reel film of me doing the same darn thing when I was a kid, going out in the ocean catching little things, running around in the jungle catching stuff. Even on my video to get into Survivor, you see me in the swamps, jumping out of the water, catching an alligator, bringing it back to the boat, playing with my daughter and her little rubber alligator. The game was made for me. I knew it. If I could just get on there, I could show I was the best survivor.
Alan Cable is right around the corner, but first, before we get out of here, got to wrap this up. Got this guy on the phone. He's been cool enough to donate some time tonight, hanging out with us, the one and only Rupert from Survivor. Thanks for coming on, hanging out with us. How's the family doing, Rup?
Very good. It is very good. My daughter and my wife and I starting our new kids group, our mentoring group here in town, Rupert's Kids.
Excellent.
We for years, my wife and my daughter and I worked 7 days a week with our kids out of the juvenile court system, and loved it. Had kids around us every day and taught them life skills and job skills and social skills, and got them out of the juvenile court system and on their own and making it in this world.
Tell us about your charities. I know that's a big part of your life now, and you've really used your celebrity status to help benefit that. But really, tell us about what you got going on.
Exactly right. With Rupert's Kids, my wife and I have always said, as we mentor these kids, as we take these kids out of the juvenile court system, we've always wanted to, either adopt them or take, help them somehow, get them out of their situations and bring them into our lives. And that's why we started mentoring. But we're now taking it to that second step where we're creating a mentoring agency here in town that will pick up the slack of our system that we've got. In the system right now, when you're 18, in the system, a kid in the system, you're booted out the door, which is what you want, but you're not really truly ready to be an adult.
Right.
And you have a lot of, that's a hard time for those of us that came from, a great family background that had all the life skills in the world. You still screw up between those 18 and 21 years, those transition years. What we're doing is taking these kids, and what a parent would do is kind of helping them and leading them into secured jobs and apartments and transportation and teaching the bus lines and, teaching how to really make it in society and carrying you for the next 2 or 3 or 4 years. I've got some of my kids that have came back from my old mentoring group, Kids Hope, that now are in their mid-20s that want to be that next mentor for our kids coming up. But yeah, it's been a wonderful thing. I tell everybody, my favorite job I've ever had in my life. I run around the country. I encourage people to help others. I hoot and holler. I sign my name. I take pictures. I give hugs and kisses. It's a wonderful, wonderful world.
What are your websites for everybody out there to find out more?
Rupert'sKids.org and RupertRupert.com.
Easy enough to remember. And one last thing, and I'll let you get out of here because I know you're a busy man. Can we just get one of those trademark Rupert growls?
You darn right. Yeah!